I got promoted. Hello, you in trouble.
I'd like to welcome all of you to the third of our series of candidate forums. Thank you. Thank you. First thing we're going to do, my name is Carolyn Arndt. If you are a repeater, I've never said that before because I know my name, okay? But some of you do not. So now it's out there. The first thing we're going to do is do the Pledge of Allegiance. If you'll please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty for all. You may be seated. And now I'm going to go off script. I haven't done that before. Because my group is going to fire me from this nighttime job if I don't thank the city for allowing us, for graciously helping us to do these candidate forums for you, allowing us to use the city chambers. So I want you to know that it's because of the city and their staff, Chris Freeland and his staff, that we have been able to do this. So thank you to them. The instructions for tonight. Now I read these because I don't want anything to be left out. First of all, you need to silence your phones. Number 1, and these are the guidelines. Each candidate will have 3 minutes introduction. Each question asked tonight will also need to be answered in 3-minute increments. Our timer will display a yellow sign to inform the candidate when they have 30 seconds left to respond and a red sign to stop. No questions will be accepted after the last candidate has introduced himself or herself. If you have a question before this time, please return to the main room and fill out a card and give it to the WCIA representative. They are either at the table back there in the lobby or the designated area. I think that's where it is. Our moderator tonight is Dr. David Speak, a professor from Cal Poly Pomona. This is his 3rd time with us, and he has done an outstanding job. Our timekeeper is sitting right here. He has already shown you the wares of his trade. And he will do his job proficiently too. If you have any questions, they will be sorted out and handed out to the candidates at the appropriate time. Thank you. Let the meeting begin. Maybe I ought to introduce who we have up here. I think that would be nice. Have you met them? Frederick Sykes. Tony Wu. I may still get fired.
So my primary problem this evening is liable to be that I forget how the mic works because I spent a lot of time at the CSU system office down in Long Beach, and the mics work quite differently. So you'll see me with the mic left on, or I'll forget to push the... Anyway, I'm really happy to be here. I'm a Claremonter, so I don't have a direct stake in these elections, but everyone has a stake in the success of local government. Lawrence and I were talking earlier, he's a student of ours, talking earlier about the importance of local government for everyday life. Most of what makes your life good here in West Covina happens as a result of decisions that are made in this room. I know I'm speaking to the choir, but it's really important that folks do what you're doing, that you come out and try to inform yourself about votes before the election. There is still time to register. I'm certain that everybody in here is registered, but you probably know people who are not. Even if everybody you know is registered to vote, you need to make sure that they actually do vote, because that's the next step in the problem, in the process. And it's really fascinating to be in your first set of elections, your first election cycle with districts. You know, districts are new, so we haven't worked out the District 5 fight song yet. We'll work on the cheer, but it's an interesting change in the way you interface with folks who make decisions on your council. And so it's especially it's important to pay attention to this election and these 3 seats, whether in your district or not. The rules have been laid out. There'll be up to 3 minutes allowed for each opening statement, up to 3 minutes allowed for each answer. I will, with the assistance of the timekeeper, I will stop people mid-word if I have to at the end of their time, not because I'm a mean guy, but because we try really hard to make sure that everybody gets treated equally. And I'm told, despite the experience 2 weeks ago and the experience 4 weeks ago, I'm told that I may have a harder time keeping these guys in line tonight. So I'm just warning you that I'm going to stop you when your time is up. It's best if you stop yourself. So up to 3 minutes for opening statements. We're going to start in alphabetical order as we did before with Mr. Sykes.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Frederick Sykes. Thank you to the West Covina Improvement Association for organizing the 3 candidates forums. And thank you to everyone in the council chamber tonight and all the people who are watching on the internet and cable TV. And for the people who do not know me and maybe have not been watching the city council meetings and what's going on in City Hall, I am Frederick Sykes, and I'm a 40-year resident of West Covina. I am also a retired deputy sheriff for Los Angeles County, and I am a former mayor of this great city. And at this time, I'm also a commissioner for the LA County Human Relations Commission, and most of my adult life, I have been a public servant. I grew up in areas of South Central Los Angeles, pretty tough and violent areas. I lived in the areas of Watts, Willowbrook, and Compton, California. And what made the difference for me was that I had very good parents, very strong, very sturdy. They believed in corporal punishment. And also, without our knowledge, our parents had contacted the elderly people in the Palm Lane low-cost housing area where I lived and told them that, hey, we have a bunch of children, and anytime you need anything, just call. So even before I knew what customer service and public service was, I was already committed to it. And I worked numerous jobs from the time I was 12 years old, delivered newspapers, washed dishes, worked in restaurants, worked with Latino migrant workers, picking fruit and so forth. So that has given me my background and my empathy for a lot of things that people may not necessarily have experienced. I graduated Compton High School in 1969, attended Compton College, and earned my AA degree. At 19, I was introduced to law enforcement through the Compton Police Department as a community service officer. And then at 21, I joined the LA County Sheriff's Department, and I worked for 33 years for the county, and I retired in 2006. Then something happened in 2006. I had a neighbor that came up with a flyer and told the community about what was happening at City Hall, Shadow Oak Park. Half of it was about to be sold. And at that time, I started coming to City Hall, and once we were here, I understood that we were underrepresented as residents and that there were some other problems that we need to work on. So ever since then, I've been working on transparency and fairness here for the whole city. Thank you.
Mr. Wu.
Okay, thank you. Okay, hi, my name is Tony Wu. I'm current Mayor Pro Tem of West Covina. I've been living in West Covina for 30 years. First, I want to thank West Covina and Improvement Association to host this event. And I want to thank everybody showing up. We have a full crowd over here and people watching at home and on TV, on the online. And myself, currently, I have two jobs. I have a part-time job as my business owner, and I have a more than full-time job as a city councilman, and I'm working very hard for previous 2 years and 10 months. And for this 2 years and 10 months on the job, I'm proud to say I deliver everything I promised in last election of 2015, such as, first one, about expanding of our internship program. Currently, our city has a lot of interns working over here, and I think we have the most interns than any other city, including my daughter, Megan, right now working for 1 year free for the city. I think it's very important. We have to contribute, and young people can work for the city and develop themselves. And second thing is a Shop Local after-school program. Currently, we have a Shop Local after-school program, basically for our young people, junior high and high school, for this after-school program for free. Dancing, singing, performing art, keep them in the school. And there's money coming from the business, sponsorship and exchange, basically, our parent to Shop Local. And just next week, the 85C, bakery, they are committed to donate $15,000 for the Shop Local after school program. So you're going to keep a lot of kids very happy. Then we have a senior bill of rights. I want to make sure our senior with their program and plus their transportation have been taken care, enjoying their life in West Covina. And plus another thing I want to push in it is already implemented is basically make sure our old home can have a chance, basically improve using the CDBG fund and grant to improve their old home for insulation, for air conditioning, so upgrade their life. And another thing we want to emphasize is fire hazard. I want to make sure our city clean up all those overgrown tree, hazardous tree, brush, bushes, and make sure it's clean, so we don't have a fire hazard. And all these things, we are going to put it together. I'm singing and dance for these 2 years and 10 months. I'm working very hard to try to put our city on the map. And currently, we have a lot of business come to West Covina, want to improve, bring the money, and bring job. I think that's very important for us. But our city still have a lot of problem. The problem is what? We cannot balance the budget. We have staff our police and fire. And we have a homeless epidemic. We can resolve this issue. We can do it. Determination and the policy to make things happen. I'm so confident I've been doing this job and I continue this momentum. I can solve this problem. November 6th, we can make sure it's happened. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Wu. So now we're going to do questions. They've been screened by my colleagues on the left. We will go alternating, starting the questions. So the first question will start with Mr. Sykes. The next question will start with Mr. Wu. The first question builds on the fact that both of you have had experience on the council, and it has two parts. One part is easy, the other part is less easy. The first part is, what would you consider as your biggest accomplishment or accomplishments on the council? And the harder part is, what is or were your biggest mistake or mistakes in serving in that fashion? So up to 3 minutes, Mr. Sykes.
Well, I think a lot of people are going to be very pleased with Porto's making it here. We had to make some adjustments to get them to agree to come. That's going to bring quite a few dollars. Also, when I got elected, we noticed that the council that when I was there, that the budget was definitely leaning towards some serious problems, and we decided to make some adjustments to the salaries and some of the employee benefits, because here in West Covina, the average income is about $65,000, and we were definitely struggling to keep up with those bills. Also, we had litigation. $12 million was spent fighting the dealerships and so forth, back and forth, and we finally stopped that. And now I believe we only have 2 dealerships that are not operating. And so that is the kind of thinking that we are going to have when we go forward, is making sure that we're not wasteful. And I think that we've set a pattern now that going forward we have to spend within our budget. And the mistakes. Well, I did walk the Glendora business area, and I talked to every business there, and I was shocked at how many businesses were negatively impacted by the homeless situation. And so at that time, I didn't have enough ideas on how to correct that, to get those folks someplace to live and gather themselves. So that to me was very heartbreaking, that we have all these people out there, and it's just a shock to see the amount of impact there and the waste of human resources that we have. So I'm hoping that we can turn that around when I get elected. That's one of the things that I definitely want to work on, starting at the county jail when they get released, to come up with programs to assist and help the city. Thank you.
Thanks. Mr. Wu.
Okay, thank you so much. Accomplishment, okay. I think the most important thing, when I see a lot of children, okay, and dancing, perform at the lake, and I see their happy faces, and that kind of bring tears in my eye, because now they got a program. They got the after-school program, dancing, singing, performing art in their band program too. I think that's so important. Our future have something develop themselves. When we have children be confident, not necessarily academic, but they're confident about themselves, about art, about dancing, about singing, not necessarily they have always go study. I think they are going to be somebody. Make them be proud. And I see them dancing over there 4 days at the lake with those magnificent move. And I say, hi, this is something I'm so proud of. Not only that, the shop local after school program now come out very, very strong. You see the dump truck, they have a shop local for our children. And it's a design from myself. I say we want to make sure our residents understand how to shop local, support our business, and business will continue to sponsor our program. It's always include the community. So important for us. We need a village to raise our children, because our children is our future. And this after-school program with dancing, singing, performing art, now we need, we have about almost $100,000 already. Currently we have a West Covina Unified School, Covina Unified School, including the rural Unified School. We all have this program for them. And then another thing important for our city future, how to bring the revenue and job. Okay, I know people sometimes worry about the landfill, about BKK. But if you see the landfill, we need to do something about that. We need to cap it. Finally, we have somebody over here and ready to make an offer. Hopefully this project can cap the landfill, and not only that, to bring $15 million annual income and create 2,000 jobs. And not only that, with that, like 85 anchor for McIntyre Square. This is like anchor for West Covina, bring the 10 freeway. 10 freeway now, West Covina Plaza with the Starwood, they're coming in. They want to spend big money to improve our West Covina Plaza. They will increase about 1,000 jobs and a possible $10 million annual revenue to us. They're going to make a hotel. They're going to make potential a big entertainment complex like Arcadia Mall, South Coast Mall. Because you have a hotel, people can go inside and then shop, go directly to the mall. All this will create a big thing for our city. West Covina is going to be on the map. I think this is so important for us to understand. We have to work together, and this is the thing. Mistake, I have 20 seconds to talk about mistake. I don't know I have any mistake. The only mistake is I'm the minority of the council member. Hopefully after election, I can get my majority push to improve my city. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Wu. Now, the next question is going to go to you again, and with only 2 candidates, that puts you right back on the mic. So I'm going to take a little while to do this. As I said earlier, you're experiencing now your first elections with districts, and so the relationship of folks within a district to a council member, to a particular council member, is going to change. This question reflects that change. In your opinion, what issues are unique to District 5, and what do you plan to do to address those issues?
It's a very good question. Okay, I think, okay, I never agree with district. When I door knocking for these 8 weeks, I'm talking to so many people, a lot of residents don't even know we become a district. Okay, so I talk to them, I go to the Shadow Oak, okay, I went so south to Valley, I even went to the mobile home, talking to a lot of people about their worry, about their concern. I think it's so important, we need to talk to people individually, one by one. It's a tough job, but you can understand what this city problem is. Our city has a lot of problems, but the district thing is this, about our district. I prefer to have an entire city problem, but since now become a district, so I have to make sure district number 5, no matter it's south side or north side, we all in the one side in West Covina. So the problem in the south side has no different in the north side. We're talking about lack of police. The north side doesn't have a police either. The south side has no police. They talk about the homeless in the Shadow Oak Park. Now, north side, the Cortez Park, have more homeless than Shadow Oak Park. Okay, this is the issue. It's not only in the which side, it's entire city all facing this epidemic problem. The crime, people worry. You go to all the home, they all have this, okay, the iron door, okay, and the camera. Okay, it's almost everybody have dog. So it's very difficult for me to door knock and say, excuse me, I'm your neighbor, but nobody want to open the door. So I had to kind of trap them to open the door. Excuse me, I'm your neighbor, Tony. Steve, please open the door. But the point is this, people scared. How can we address the issue? How can we help each individual, no matter south side or north side? And in between is the BKK. Okay, let's big of a 600 acre of dirt. We need to do something. Hopefully we can connect in the middle, so when the north side and south side from Citra and Longala, so we can connect together. So we are not separating 2 sides, we are all together. So in this district, the issue is this, I can individually kind of work longer because the distance is only 1/5. Last time it's like entire cities, I only work, okay, maybe 1 and it's over. Now I can walk entire city, talk to almost everybody. So the good thing is this, I can almost talking to each individual. Okay, compare with, okay, 210 months ago, I only can walk to certain, then it's over due to I talk too much. Okay, that's the problem I have. But hopefully I can finish and make sure all their problem I can address and the people, their problem can be resolved. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Sykes.
You know, the first thing that my community has a deficit to deal with is that when the districts were established, they weren't established in a community-centric situation. We have the south side of the city, which is Valley Boulevard, and we have a mobile home park down there. Per acre of land, that is the most crowded part of town. We hear fireworks year-round, mail theft year-round. We are impacted by our neighbors that have to come and share our park. And we go to school with those folks that are down to the south and southeast of us. Our children, when we look out our door, in particular on my street, our children have difficulty in getting to school. If they don't have a car, it's hard for a little kindergartner to walk all the way down to Roraima School. West Covina has 7 different school districts, and we are in Roland. And those houses were not, they were built, and the developments down there were built, and the schools weren't built. That's because we don't have a voice. And when those districts are drawn, they still left us in a precarious situation. The majority of the city on the city council is represented by folks that live in the northeastern central area of the city. Most of the commissioners are also from that area. So one of the most difficult tasks now, dealing with the fact that our districts was rejected. The map that showed where you had 5 fire stations, you had 5 communities that are distinct. Instead, we have to try to get the districts to work together when we're so underserved and don't have the same interests as the area of South Hills. A lot of my neighbors, we're crowded on them, but we don't vote too well. They feel a distance from the city. And now the way the district is set up, it just reiterated that distance from City Hall and from the police station. So sadly, just the way the districts were set up, they need to be redesigned to make it better for the community, so all of us can be better represented. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, the next question is, what do you think should happen at the BKK site? It's come up already, so I'll remind you that if you don't want to use all 3 minutes, that's fine. But the questioner wants you to be as specific as possible in addressing what you think should happen at the BKK site. And this is to Mr. Sykes first.
You know, the BKK is an ironic situation. 1923, the city was founded by 500 people or so. And that was because they didn't want to be a sewer place, another waste site. Then comes 1963, I wasn't living here. I was still in junior high school. But at that time, someone decided, hey, we need money. So let's just turn our part of our city into a dump. And they obviously did not look at the big picture. And so now, once the city grew up, that dump became the center of our city. And it smelled so bad that we had to do something with it. So not all money is good money. That's the first thing we need to think about. And so now here we are with people preaching that it's a gold mine. That is very disingenuous. And it's dangerous. BKK still has tons of garbage and poison. And it's impacted by a flaw, whether it be aged design or out-of-date design to control those systems. That stuff escaped in the past and caused people to have to run and flee for their lives because it was about to explode. So going forward, we need to have 110,000 people that come here and get involved with what we do with that. And some of the things that maybe we can do is definitely connected to outdoor recreation. That's what's been approved. And we also have to be mindful that we just recently returned that dump to the residents. I was on the Oversight Commission, and my fellow commissioners did not want to give that back. Governor Brown had taken that when he took the redevelopment. But I said, hey, you know, the residents paid for this. So it's only right that they get that return so that they can kind of get some help with paying for all those millions, $57 million for the baseball fields. where they pay $10 million extra for a deferred tax increment. And so when we go forward with this BKK site, solar panels might not penetrate and harm the location up there and other technologies. So we need to be cautious when we go forward. We need to have the input of everybody, especially those folks that live near there, need to have an input on what we do with that place. And then finally, because of all that poison and stuff, it's going to be a while before we even get anything put up there. That's the nature of things. Thank you.
Thanks. Mr. Wu.
Thank you. Okay. When you talk about the BKK, you have to see why is the BKK? How it look like right now? Okay. If you see the Google map I downloaded yesterday, this is what current BKK look like. Nothing but pile of dirt. Okay. Have nothing to cover. You tell me, is this safe for close 22 years? Okay. Another one. You see this? This all green. Look nice. Cover. This is Industry Hill landfill. 35 years ago, it's a big landfill. Now, Pacific Pond, golf course, 4-star hotel, and cab. So what we should do with this landfill, we have to see, because this landfill, why the south side become an issue. If we have this, the south side no longer become the tail. They will become the head. Why? Because they're much easier to go over there. They have a beautiful development. They have a recreation park, and they're so easy to walk over there with trail and everything. And if the north side, they have to drive. So for that, how important to get a BKK to be done? So we have to see what we can do the BKK. The BKK is landfill. You have two sides. One side is a redevelopment agency dissolved. We become successful agency. We owe $12 million bond. We're still paying $600,000 a year, so-called to bring that drink golf course and clubhouse. It's never happened. So what we should do till I get elected 2 years and 10 months ago, and I pushing it, I change it with a 3-2 vote, change the clubhouse, become a hotel. So hopefully we can lure some of investors, because without hotel, nobody wants to spend the money on this. And then you have another area, it's called the toxic landfill. That's not including into this and the development. And so important, I've been in the south side talking to thousands of people, I talk about this. What should we do with this? Especially with the toxic landfill, not including this development, we need to cap it. The development, from the environment from Hawaii, they say they want to cap it with cement so the water won't penetrate. And then on top, they put, and the greenhouse, and then on top of the greenhouse, they put solar panel, can power up entire development. It's green, it's very, very nice. And on the development proposed, they want to build a 5-star hotel. 5-star hotel will bring us more than $5 million a year revenue. And that's not going to influence with some of the residents, they're so worried. They will be on the side, maybe in front of Gloucester Park. So it's far away from the resident on the top over there. And plus, it will be a recreation park, meaning it's something light, with a zip line and this and that. Something we can be proud of and let the investor to pay for it. We have no money to pay for the park and this and that, but we want to invest to pay for this, to make something very new, very nice, create 2,000 jobs and create $50 million revenue. They want to propose the horses, like Santa Anita and West Track. I don't think, why not? Because each horse can bring us $500 to $600 a month. $1,400-1,500, they will bring us $10 million already with equestrian, with everything. This is magnificent to change our city, change Southern California. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Wu. The next question, what plans do you have to prevent the city from going into bankruptcy? And I guess at least potentially that question has two sides, and one would be a revenue side and one would be an expenditure side. We'll start with Mr. Wu.
Thank you. When we have a deficit, we have to see what is our deficit, where it's coming from. At the City Council diet, at our special budget meeting, I've been asking, where is our deficit? Where is it coming from? They talk about next year we're going to have $6.2 million deficit from what? Salary. Why we increase salary $6.2 million? So meaning what? We have to approach and attack where is the leak. Otherwise, no matter how much money you bring in, it's going to leak out. The first thing is what? Force overtime. Public safety, police and fire, their force overtime is tremendous. We need to reduce this overtime, this money. And I talk to police and fire, they don't want to do this force overtime, bad for their body. We cannot say we want to save and we cut their staff and we want to see we can balance. It's wrong. My proposal is very simple. Hire P1, P2, and reduce this over time. Can save $3 to $4 million. It's as a business, run like a business sense. Second thing, what to do with our so-called consulting. We have way too many consultants. We should cut the consultant to make sure we don't waste the money. And then attorney fee. Holy mackerel, attorney fee always costs us so much money. The Mr. Side just talking about cost $12 million attorney fee. We need to cut this attorney fee, make sure we don't have an warrant about settlement. It's waste our city money. And then how to bring the revenue. And I said it so many times. Business friendly, let the business pay for our expenditure. That's going to happen. We already have the BKK is almost ready for Symbolic Group, ready to make an offer. We want to pay us cash, pay us out $10 million a bond, take it out of our book. Right away we save $10 million and save $600,000 useless of money and waste our money. And with the free of this money, with this $10 million coming in the general fund, we can use something else. Have more police, have more fire, increase our public safety, increase our public service. This is so important. And the Starwood, with the 10th freeway, they're coming in too. It's everything coming in because we are promoting. We promote the city. It's so important. Don't ever think about to balance the budget. Just raise the tax. Go into your pocket and thinking about we can balance the budget. It's wrong. Raising the tax is like you drinking the poison and try to stop the thirst. It's wrong. Use the live money. Live money is a business. Treat business failures. Let them make money over here. Make sure they can hire more people, create jobs. More important thing is to create revenue, and that revenue continue to help us to improve our city. That's so important. If we work together, I guarantee West Covina will be totally different city, improving and rich. Not right now. Fighting with scrap bone is wrong. The Fed's coming, the juicy steak coming in. We should take it, So in that way, I think we can balance the budget, make West Covina on the map. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wu. Mr. Sykes.
Well, first of all, you have to understand why we're using consultants. When we started coming to City Hall, the city clerk's office had 5 or 6 staff members. That's just one office that we can talk about. And now there are some days when there's only a single staff member there. So you have to use good judgment. You have to use good judgment. You have to have professionals. If you've laid off people since we came here, since 2006, we've been laying off people and consolidating. That means eliminating jobs, folks. That's what that means. So whenever we go to do something, I asked for something to be repaired at the park, and I was shocked that we had to do a request for proposal to pull a nail up to put the drain back that the graffiti artist had knocked down. So we are in dire straits here. We have city staff that is extremely understaffed. Those professionals that we bring help us keep from making major mistakes and garnering lawsuits for things that don't go well. Consultants are a necessary evil for us at this time. They are extremely important. And even more important are the attorneys. If we don't have a strong, experienced city attorney helping us go forward, that is a huge risk. We cannot afford to get rid of our city attorney without making absolutely certain that whoever we replace that person with is on point and knows West Covina. This current city attorney has been here for a while, so that means they've learned something about West Covina and know where the pitfalls are. So with that having been said, when I get elected, I will be working to work on protecting the city's good name and its reputation, because that's going to help us bring opportunities and will invite strong, healthy businesses of the future, such as Amazon HQ2. and companies that do research and retail manufacturers engaging in new technologies. We have a general plan that we can work with. That area between West Covina Parkway and the rear of Glendora can be developed. We can get some businesses, perhaps some expansion on that. So we need to draw what we have.
Thank you, Mr. Sykes. Well, I've discovered something interesting. I turn on my mic and it changes the timbre of what's happening up here, so I apologize if I've interposed inadvertently. I'm going to alter this question a little bit. This is going to be a personal statement on my part. I think it's important to talk about homelessness as a problem and not talk about homeless, because the situation of being without housing is not an inherent characteristic of the persons who are without housing. So it's not like you're talking about different persons, you're talking about persons in particular circumstances, and that gives you a little bit of a break. But this is your question, Mr. Sykes, at least first. Please address how you would deal with the homelessness problem.
Thank you. That is a profound situation here, very deep into the city. We have residents that have gotten so desperate that they're holding their own town hall meetings to try to come up with solutions to this situation. And as I indicated earlier, when I was on the council, I walked and talked to every business owner that was open on the Glendora Avenue area. And at that time, I talked to a radio, I had an interview, and I told them that the overwhelming problem in West Covina was the homelessness. And they laughed at me. They said, no, it's immigration. I said, this is ridiculous. First of all, homelessness has some components to it. There's a lot of mental illness that's attached to it. And we have to make sure that we look at all these components. So the mental illness situation is a problem. We also have the vagrants. That's a little different than just being homeless. Vagrants have been out there for decades, begging, getting by, eking out an existence, taking our deleterious properties and making them into makeshift shanty towns and so forth in our green spaces. So they are going to be a hard situation to deal with, because they become accustomed. So to deal with those folks, what we're going to have to do is start being more secure about our places of goodwill, where we leave furniture and so forth. We're going to have to be cleaner people. We can't just be throwing trash in the street, because that's how these guys get by and stay in our community, because we do a lot of dumping out of our windows. They recycle everything that we oftentimes forget about and don't use. Now, the other problem is just people who fall on hard times. And that's going to be easier to help. Those folks that fall on hard times, divorce or whatever has happened, we as a regional, we're already addressing those things from a regional perspective. And that is we're hopefully we can get it to a 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, that when you see somebody, there's a family that's gone homeless, that they're not on the street. So those folks that have fallen on hard times, that have skills and want to work, we can take care of that. Also, I'm working very closely with Supervisor Solis. We want to make sure that we have something at the county jail. So when we send our people who go to jail for criminal activity based around homelessness, that when they get out, that we have some resources there, and also in our jail. We need them both places to help those folks. We need to think outside the box. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sykes. Mr. Wu.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm very disappointed with the county. Okay, and Mrs. Solis. Okay, basically took our $80 million. We pay 0.5% of sales tax for 2 years. Every year we give $9 million, and 2 years we get $80 million, and we still have a dime to come to our city. So they say, you approve the major age, and we're going to solve the homeless issue. The 2 years, we don't see anything, nothing at all. No money come to us. And our homeless is increased epidemic. Right now, currently, more than 300 Can you believe we have 300 homeless living in the beautiful city of West Covina, and 5-6 years ago, we only have 50. How can we have so many homeless? Where are they coming from? How can we stop this? This is epidemic. That's why entire our resident, no matter no side, south side, east side, west side, everybody's worried about this. I'm worried about this. But it's not a typical norm. It's not like we cannot resolve this issue. This issue can be resolved. We just have to go to strongly persistent with community outreach. And that has been done. And I want to show to you. The first thing you have to see, what kind of homeless? Who is homeless? Okay, what I see, the homeless, only two kinds of homeless people. One, the people want to get help. And then another group of the homeless, they don't want to get help at all. This is their lifestyle. Meaning the mental issue, the drug issue, the alcoholic issue. They're just like roaming on the street, free like a bird, like a dog. They're on the street. Okay, but this is their lifestyle. So that's very difficult to approach. But recently, on September 27, we have, I want to commend our chief, okay, and with their police department, joint venture agency, okay, with our county sheriff and plus, county, mental service people, personnel, 50 of them, the staff, including our city police department, okay, they went out, okay, to approach all the hotspot. They totally solved about 33 homeless people. I have the report from the police chief, and I post on the page and make sure everybody notified, okay, about this thing. Okay, this thing is so important because it's very successful. This is the first time we're doing a joint agency and the approach outreach. So meaning what? It's resolvable. It's not like we just have to suffer, but we just put this together again. 300, we got, okay, 33 people, okay, and they've been helped. And then how about do it monthly? I talked to the chief. He said, well, maybe difficult, okay, to do monthly, but I say, how about they do it quarterly? If we do it quarterly and to resolve this homeless outreach, some of the mental people, we put it in mental, okay, facility, or some of the displaced people, we put it in some facility. We need to help them. They are one human being too. They are our brother and sister. And another thing is this, simply talking about the builders, okay, dormitory 300, okay, dormitory over there. We can have them to live over there and work over there, create job and dormitory. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Wu. The county supervisors have been invoked, and a little self-promotion here, whether she's a villain or a hero, Hilda Solis is a graduate of my department, like Lawrence. So, the next question I had to have help the question is, what's your position on ADUs? I'm told that's granny flats or secondary housing. I still don't know what the acronym is. What's ADU? Additional? Accessory dwelling. Aha. At any rate, that's the question. What's your position on ADUs? And it starts with Mr. Wu.
Okay. The ADU coming off from the state approved the ADU. Basically, ADU is like a guest house in the back of your house, and then you're allowed to put a bathroom, okay, to put a kitchen. Currently, you're not allowed to put a kitchen. Okay, they only have, they're talking about the granny, okay, the granny flat, okay, or the guest house, okay, or your in-law room, but you're not allowed to put the kitchen over there. With ADU, you are allowed, okay, to put the kitchen. You even can put the size like a typical, okay, habitable dwelling. And the reason the state coming out to this program and kind of forced to every city to allow our residents to build ADU, because what? The housing crunch. We have a major housing problem. You can see the property becomes so expensive. The young people or the elderly, they're displaced. They have no place to go because the housing issue, then now we can create more problem. So to stop this problem, the state come out the ADU and they come out to the city. I understand a lot of resident doesn't like, okay, so-called high density living. I don't like it either. But sometimes you need to compromise because you have an elderly parent live with you. Once upon a time, my father was sick and cramping into my 3-bedroom, 1.5-bath house. I really want to expand my backyard so they can live over there. But of course, that time, 1999, it's not allowed. So what I'm saying is this situation is going to happen to our residents. And there's a lot of children growing up, and they cannot find a place to live, and then they maybe can build an ADU for them, not in the same room, but in the separate place, but in the same lot. the guideline is this, okay, from the state, they basically allow you without any restriction of lot size. But in West Covina, we basically say 12,000. Okay, lot size, 12,000, only about 20% of property in West Covina. So it's kind of not fair to the people have 10,000 or 8,000 or 9,000. But not everybody will build an ADU. But one thing is this, the people have a need to do the ADU. And people talking about if you have ADU, you might increase a lot of parking on the street. The parking on the street is already an issue because most of people, they don't park in their garage. It's a compliance issue. It's a code enforcement issue because they put their garage become a living quarter, or they put their garage into what? Into the storage room. So in that way, okay, they park on the street. And some people have 10 cars. Okay, they're just using our street, okay, over there, like you, right, Gail? Okay, I know a lot of people like to collect cars, but it's really create a problem for us. But ADU, I think is necessary for us to have but we still have to give some guideline to make sure we keep the integrity of neighborhood, don't make it too crampy, but we need to sympathize about the issue. We need to help to make sure this so-called housing crunch can be resolved. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sykes.
Like most anything, too much of something can be bad for you. So this is a situation that, again, we need the residents as a whole, citywide, paying attention. Because there are a few spaces around our city, in particular in South Hills, of course, because they have large lots. But there are some other places in West Covina that do have some pretty good-sized lots. And it's going to be up to the residents that live in these neighborhoods to pay attention when something is given, when we're given a notice that there's some construction going on, some additional construction being done on a property. We need to be mindful of what is the impact to the community and our quality of life. I am a member of the West Covina Lions Club, and we do Meals on Wheels. And there are certain areas that I go to. I look at what used to be a single family resident. And by the time we start walking through that place, we find that the single family residence has been turned into an apartment. And there's A, B, C, D, F, all the different locations and ways they can arrange these large property lots have been turned into an apartment complex. So I don't think that folks who bought into this West Covina residential lifestyle that I bought into 40 years ago want to see this kind of thing happen where single-family residences get turned into some kind of apartment type situation. So we need to be mindful back as to how we set this up going forward and how we keep track of these developments that are being put in there. Now, we also have to keep in mind that, yes, the state is looking for more housing. But of course, you see where the governor is going when he retires. He's going to an out-of-the-way place with a lot of open space. And guess what? His ranch won't have to deal with what we got to deal with because they're making a demand for more housing. So the way we do that, people, is to remember that this is being shoved on us by law. And as a group of people, just like what I harked back to in the beginning of the city, they worked together and they created what was comfortable for them. We could do the same thing here dealing with these different things that get put onto us, such as this type of development. We have to be a community that works together. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question, what plans do you have for the downtown area of West Covina? And that's Mr. Sykes.
Thank you. You know, this has been a question for our city, and we've missed over the 90-something years of our establishment as a city, we've missed some opportunities. As a matter of fact, we spent sometimes $300,000 to $500,000 on trying to figure out how to develop a downtown plan. So the first thing you see now, and I didn't approve of it when it was brought in, the 4-story, 450-unit apartment complex, because where I come from, I'm always thinking of how did these housing projects turn into such a crime-impacted area. Well, first of all, they get to be very dense. And usually when that happens, problems start. So with that having been said, we got this density that started in what we would call the Central Business District downtown area. So now that we got that, we got to make lemons out of it and take those lemons and then turn into lemonade. So we have a plan that gave us the general update plan that gave us a template to try to get some businesses to come. And we also, at the same time, as those businesses come in, we must keep in mind that we do have residential zones that we need to be protective of. So again, I talked about from the West Covina Parkway to that Glendora area. It would be nice to get some investors to come and see if we can do that. But that's owned by 17 or so owners of the property. And that is a huge impediment. It wouldn't be so bad if we had that 45 million that we blew. We had reserved money, pretty deep pockets. And that was the sad part, that when we had these monies, when we could have had an opportunity, we didn't take advantage of it. So I'm open to what we can bring in downtown. But again, the main thing is we need to be mindful of what we bring forward. They've been talked about hotels. That's going to take some money because West Covina doesn't have it. So we're going to have to make sure that we do check with Vegas and wherever we have those conventions to let those people know we're open for business and we will be as friendly as possible, except we're not going to hurt the residential lifestyle that we have in West Covina.
Thank you. Mr. Wu.
Okay, thank you. Okay, when you talk about downtown plan, okay, and recently I suspended downtown plan because they're going to spend a $12 million bond, okay, to basically get rid of about 250 of parking space and make it as a corridor, a lot of green, and the people say that potentially bring the homeless people over there. And what I request is very simple. Okay, if we want to do this project, the first thing is this bond's from the gas tax, that's 13 cents. Okay, possibly will be repaired at the November. If we approve that time, we will be in trouble because we have to pay almost $1 million a year, okay, paying the bond money, including principal interest. And the bond money basically coming from the gas tax money and the fixing the street. And for that, if we don't have the gas money, basically, okay, this downtown plan will be totally become our major debt. And the point is this, why I suspend this downtown plan, the project. This $12 million, what I think is potentially is a waste. You don't remodel your home, but you remodel your front yard first. So you make your front yard so beautiful, but your house is still trash. And then when you later on you want to remodel your home, then you're going to destroy all your front yard. So that is a problem. What I'm trying to propose, okay, for our city and my colleague is this: let's bring the anchor to that area. Just like bring the anchor to 85C to McIntyre Square. And that basically is boom because it attracts people to come in. Currently, our downtown, we don't have an anchor. See, we're struggling with the lake. We're struggling the colony. They don't even have anyone. They saw, they're talking this, they're talking that, but I haven't seen anybody yet. Okay, open up over there and bring a lot of traffic. But remember, I did a lake performance for the children over there. If you go to see right now, because now the kid over there perform, then we attract more of the patron and the people to go over there. Last time, we have almost 7 people from community to support all those children performance. That is the anchor. You have a traffic create the business, they want food, they want to drink, then all the business over there survive. So downtown plan is how can we create the attraction Not necessarily you're going to have to do it. When you have attraction, automatically all those single shop, 36 owner of them, they were going to fix it because demand is coming. Demand is coming, supply will follow. And plus, if we have our West Covina, plaza continue to renovate, and plus we have and all those business surrounding gradually coming in to renovate, we are going to have a beautiful downtown. I strongly support. We need a downtown. We need a walking people hand in hand after hours with your family. Go over there, have a nice cafe outdoor. Maybe have a bar, have a couple of drinks with your friend instead of walking over there like Pasadena, Old Town, like Monrovia, Old Town. That's what I dream about, and that we can make it happen. We just continue, bring more activity, bring people over there. We are going to have our downtown.
Thank you, Mr. Wu. So here's a problem. You invite me back a couple of times and I'm liable to go rogue. I perceive that we have enough time for me to make up my own question, and so I'm going to do that now. Having served on the Claremont School Board, whoa, I've just been called. I'm aware of the fact that what a political scientist would call intergovernmental relations are really important. One of the things that's disorienting to folks who come from a different part of the country sometimes is to recognize that there are 87 municipalities in LA County. So you drive from Claremont to West Covina to, you just go down the 10 and you can't tell when you've left one place and gone to another. It represents a unique challenge and opportunity for local governments of whatever stripe to try to figure out how to work with other local governments. So my question to the two of you, and it will start with Mr. Wu, is you've both had experience on the council. What governmental agencies at the local level, and I'd say from the county down through the water districts and the school districts and the other municipalities in the areas, where are the best opportunities for cooperation or solving problems with other governments in the area?
Could you repeat your questions again?
This doesn't count. The question is, what opportunities are there for the West Covina City Council to cooperate with other governmental agencies at the local level? County, water district, school districts, other municipalities.
Okay, thank you. I think this is very important to work together. When I get elected, the first thing I'm trying to do with the Shop Local After School program, and I went to approach the school district. I told the school board member, I said, can you introduce me to superintendent? I talked to them. So, and they're shocked. They said this is the first time the city council want to talk to the superintendent with the school board because it looked like because I'm never a politician, I'm a businessman. I just want to put the thing together, no baggage at all. But for that, they understand. I'm sincerely want to work with city government and the school government, the school board and the school superintendent to work together, have a joint venture to do it Shop Local After School program. Meaning what? We can create a program that's sponsored by the business, like my business community sponsored the fund, and school district, we have 7 school districts, graduate, all the school districts will join in this program to what? To allow the children to stay after 3 o'clock till 6 o'clock when the parent busy at work. So the kid can have a dancing, singing, performing art, even trade school. We can provide this for that. But without the school cooperate, it won't happen because they're not going to provide the place. They're not going to provide the teacher. And the place and the teacher is not expensive, but the location is the most expensive and the insurance. But the school will need to do it. Then I inject the money with all the business sponsorship. Then we got this program, Dancing, Singing, Performing Art. So this is one thing. Another thing, talking about the water district. I'm so worried about our drinking underground water because of the BKK site. So I'm asking about a lot of water quality board to provide the information for us and make sure we do not have any potential drinking water issue due to we are so close with this BKK site. Don't forget, BKK site, they have a let us say landfill, they bury millions of drums. And if you continue water going down, they must possible, corrosive with those drums, and they may be leak out. So I want to make sure, the quality water board continue to test the water and give us a report. Make sure our BKK is safe. Or what we can do most, can cap on the top, put cement so water won't saturate. We have to protect our future, our children, for their healthy. So this is a very important thing to work together. And the county, I talked to county, if a BKK development, then we can connect the trail. I want to connect our West Covina Trail to Covina Trail to Walnut Trail to San Dimas Trail. Let's have a county help us to connect together so we can walk the trail or ride the horses and then go to the San Dimas, we put on Stone Lake and come back. You bring Canada to West Covina. You don't have to go to Canada. West Covina can provide this trail for us. We only can build 2 bridges. Okay, one is Grand and one is 57. It's doable and county willing to help and all other cities willing to work together. So joint venture, make things happen.
Thank you, Mr. Wu. Mr. Sykes.
First of all, I always have to consider that everything is done with finances. And with all of our local agencies, generally the county with billions, they have the deepest pockets. They have the most money. And so we definitely need to work closely with them, be mindful of what grants and other programs that they have that can be turned into regional. Napolitano talked about the canine training years ago. That's our congresswoman. So now that's the U.S. government. They have deeper pockets. So we have to keep these kind of juices flowing and thinking. How can we collaborate with all these different government agencies to bring resources to West Covina? We have 7 different school districts in West Covina. And for most of the schools, we are the actual armed police. Even Roland doesn't have armed, they have a police force, but it's not armed. And so when I was on the council, I made sure that I was a member of that school liaison from our city council to interact and get involved, to work with our schools, because we need to make sure that our children are safe as much as we can. And so that is a loss because of our finances. We don't have the school resource officers. We don't have the officers in the school. That would be an ideal program that I'm hoping that we can bring back. Because the bottom line is the police department for West Covina PD, the West Covina PD, we're responsible for the safety of those children. Now, as far as water, you can't live without water. Not too many days, maybe 3, and maybe a little bit longer if you're strong. So when I saw that the Upper San Gabriel Valley Water District was working on a recycling project, and we're in a drought, we're in a long drought, and it could be extended, could get worse. We haven't had a good rain since May, I think. So we are in a drought situation. And when I saw that Upper San Gabriel Valley was bringing the recycled water to Big League Dreams and to the South Hills Country Club, I went to their meeting because that's what I do. I've been to school board meetings, county council meetings. I've been to every local government meeting you can think of to defend and protect and get involved for West Covina. And so I asked them to please consider bringing it, and now we have those purple pipes there. And that's important. We can use that water if we don't get water from the rain, from the heavens.
Thank you, Mr. Sykes. Now, we're going to treat this as the last question before the closing statements. And this will be yours. I always say in class, it's easy to forget to turn your phone off. Everybody's responsible, though, if you have a lame-ass ringtone. That one wasn't bad. But everybody's got their phone off now, right? Forgive my language. So this is the last question. I'm going to start with Mr. Sykes. What do you see as the biggest challenge for the leadership of the West Covina City Council?
I would say job one for us as a city council is to try to get past the politics, the I'm Republican, I'm Democrat type thinking, and focus on those folks that are going to vote for us on November the 6th. For far too long, they have not been the first and major priority for folks who on the city council. When I drove up, we saw that there's an incumbent scheme. And by that I mean, we had a council that first put themselves first. Everything that came through this city in the way of contracts and resources, somebody was thinking, how do I get this to work for my campaign? So fortunately, one of the things that we've done as a city is to have our contractors remove that contribution aspect. So I've lost my train of thought there.
Questions about the biggest challenge.
Yes, getting us to work together. Absolutely. Getting us to work for the people. Once we do that, once we put that in place, that people are the first priority, the city is the first priority, and everything we do whenever we come here is focused on that, the contracts, the services that are falling away that we need to bring back. It all hinges around that mindset that the people, the taxpayers are first, and then of course the businesses, and then we have another situation of how do we bring our public safety back up to order. That is a huge challenge because we need our businesses as well as our residents to feel safe. So we know that our focus needs to be on how to get money back in order to get those services back where they need to be. And it needs to be more balanced so that, again, the residents are being taken care of. Right now, we pay a lot of taxes. We have hidden taxes through franchise fees and so forth. And the residents need to come first. That's the main thing.
Thank you, Mr. Sykes. Mr. Wu.
Thank you. Okay. Before you say, okay, the leadership, the challenge, but you have to understand how the government consists together to run to our service. The city, the government has no different, okay, than the business. If you see a corporation, we have 120,000 shareholders. Okay, this 120,000 shareholders elect 5 board members to make sure they can hire the right CEO, okay, meaning our city manager, okay, to run the city. And this 5 board of members is policy maker to make sure, okay, they are going to make our resident their investment sound. So this is no different. So our city currently, we have a 5 board member, and the rotation, okay, as a president become the mayor, but everybody still have 1 vote. So leadership challenge is the policy. How can you push your policy and make sure your city manager and the staff will follow all those policy and make our resident happy, our investor happy about, okay, what they live in the West Covina. So this is the challenge. Satisfy your 120,000 of shareholders. Because they pay taxes, they invest into the city, okay, they have a property over here, they have a business over here, they have children over here, they raise children over here. So we really have to make sure this 5% of leadership in different area to make sure that our city running smoothly, and our CEO have to make sure deliver our policy at this leadership. Okay, of course, currently we have a little bit fall off because our so-called budget, okay, issue, okay, financial issue. Our police understaffed issue, our homeless issue, our co-enforcement issue. And the city kind of gradually ghettoized about all those problems, and a lot of tree overgrown and this and that. So we need to kind of screw it up, okay, make sure, tie it up, okay, this loose screw, make sure our city and the resident, okay, in the investor, they deserve what they have, a good service of the city. Okay, when the people calling, okay, the city, they will get the service. Okay, not just, okay, bureaucrat. So the bureaucracy is the problem we need to change. And leadership is how to make sure our city continue, don't have that bureaucracy. And we are here, especially our city staff, Their salary is come from our resident taxpayer, and to pay for their salary, no matter what the benefit, they have to serve. Customer service number one. This is one thing very important. As a leadership, have to understand how we provide the customer service. No matter it's the police, no matter it's our planning department, no matter it's our community event, we have to serve our city. The leadership challenge is we have to understand this is the must, serve the resident.
Thank you, Mr. Wu. Now we'll have closing statements of up to 3 minutes, and we'll reverse the order again. So we'll start with Mr. Wu.
Thank you. I want more question. You sure it's over? Okay, I'm just started, okay. But, dear friend, okay, my family, thank you so much to stay over here. I know you say, oh my goodness, Daddy want to do this, okay. But we have an agenda. We need to help our residents. I want to thank the neighbors. I want to thank the residents over here, okay, and share my vision and share my answer. I think this is so important. People don't think about your vote. Your vote, cast their vote, and November 6th is going to decide our city future. So you don't underestimate about their vote. You say, oh, I don't care, it's only one vote. No. Remember last time, the person only vote only two votes? So every vote counts. You have to speak up. That's the time you choose the right person. So who is the right person you're going to choose? So not about, he's my neighbors, he lives in the south side, he lives in the north side. Okay, I like this guy, who he is, what he has. No, we are all in the West Covina. You choose the right person if the person has the ability, track record, they want to improve our city with the passion, okay, want to do the good thing for our city. It's very important that you choose the right person that has an agenda and a vision. As a leadership, as a leader in West Covina, you must have a vision. You must what you want to bring the city to. You want to create jobs. You want to create co-enforcement. You want to make the city, okay, have clean up all this problem we have. You want to increase your police. You want to have a big business come in, create job, create revenue. We deserve it. West Covina underperformed for 30 years. Although city continue to improve, our great city of West Covina stay in same put. Look around your house. Look around your neighbor. Is that disgusting? I say yes. We need to really clean up our city, make sure our city go in the upgrade, not downgrade. We deserve much better than what we have right now. So choose the right person, no matter district number 5, district number 2, district number 4, or our treasurer or our clerk. Choose the right person to represent the city. Choose the right person as your board member to make sure move our city in the right direction. Here I plead in you. We can do it, okay, we can do it. Trust yourself. Look into each candidate, their background. See, are they qualified? Are they the right person I'm going to choose? Do they have a baggage? Is they just a politician or he has a heart for us? Choose the right person. I please you. Okay, one thing is very important thing is this. We together, united, we stand. We can make it happen. No matter south side, north side, east side, west side. We all in the same side as a resident of West Covina. We work together. Okay, we unite together, improve our city. So I want to say one thing is this. November 6th, I need your vote. Okay, and no more important thing, choose the right person. I want to thank you. God bless you, and God bless West Covina. God bless America. Thank you so much. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Wu. Mr. Sykes.
Okay, I'm going to start off with what's most on my mind, and that's when I'm elected, I want you to take this home with you and think about it, please. And you guys all know how to contact me. You got my cell phone. You got my website, and right away, when you elect me, the first things I'm going to hit the ground making sure we work on is the city financial problems. I'm going to work very hard to keep the businesses that we have and bring in new businesses. Now, when I was on the city council, we had to figure out how to keep a strip bar from coming across the street from the police department there, and we ended up with a good solution. It hasn't gotten here yet, but it's on its way. Portals. That's the kind of thinking we need going forward, not just the people on the city council, but you need to have an open conduit to have public input. We've always talked about, we've had surveys about what restaurants we want and so forth. Well, residents need to get busy. Now, with that having been said, one of the proudest moments for me and my family was winning the 2011 City Council election. And I want to thank my lovely wife, because this has been extremely costly for us personally. Most of the money comes from our budget and our family. And of course, I want to thank our friends, my fellow commissioners, and also the businesses and the voters for that proud moment that we had there. Being a council member for the city of West Covina is all about the city council working for the residents of West Covina. It's about volunteerism and trust. Remember that, trust. It is not about gaining wealth and power for yourself or your friends. The city got in this financial crisis because we lost sight of keeping the residents first and foremost and our most important priority. We started chasing dollars for ourselves, those folks that were on the city council. Right now, we have 80% of the tax dollars that should be used for city services. They're now being used to pay salaries, pensions, and other post-employment benefits. And that takeaway is growing immensely. So folks, we have an app. Grab it, put it on your phone. We have Nextdoor. We have a diminished amount of police right now. You need to help step up to make your community safer. And I'm asking that you vote for me, Frederick Sykes. I protect and serve. I've done it my whole life.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
and
you,
good
Mr.
night.
Sykes. And I hope everybody here will help me thank these gentlemen for doing what they're doing. And also the West Covina Improvement Association for sponsoring these things and the city for hosting them. And thanks for giving me an opportunity to sit up here and revel in the fact that local government is alive and well. And I think however these races and the 3 districts come out, West Covina will be in good hands.
I certainly want to add my thank you to our 2 candidates, Fred and Tony. Excellent job. One more time for Dr. Speak. Whether you be a repeater and have come to 2 or 3 of these, or if this is your first one, we're delighted you were here. And we hope that you have learned something about what is available in District 3. That's what it's all about. And one more hooray for the city. Thank you, thank you, thank you.